What's going on, everyone? So, last little kind of Jarred Vanderbilt video, just because, again, talked about this a lot. Lakers either are going to play him or they're not going to play him. I think it's crazy that, like, he's not getting garbage time minutes. He's not getting minutes in games where, like, Dalton Connect's getting minutes over him now. It's just, I don't know what happened. Him and JJ get into a fight. Like, I have no idea. It's been wild to see. But one of the things that could make sense, okay? Again, we don't know. I don't know. I can't call JJ and just talk to him about it. But it kind of goes into like my tinfoil hat theory, which was, maybe they're not playing Vando to kind of keep his value down because they want to keep him, right? Because teams are asking. I mean, even in the offseason, when the Lakers were trying to target Andrew Wiggins, Miami wanted a Jarred Vanderbilt. When the previous year and around the deadline and stuff like that, Jeremy Grant, right? When Jeremy Grant was heavily in the conversation, those teams they wanted Portland wanted Rui and Jarred Vanderbilt for Jeremy Grant. So very possible, and I've talked about how even if you were to go land an Andrew Wiggins, for example, and you traded Jarred Vanderbilt, you still, I believe, have a need now at the 3 and D wing spot. Yeah, obviously Vando isn't the 3 part, but he gives you the athleticism, versatility. Like, now Andrew Wiggins is basically your only guy. Or you're heavily leaning into Duke Thero, but it's not like they're playing Thero a bunch of minutes, right? I can understand if they were playing him like 30 minutes a night, but he only played 3 minutes last night. So, like, they're not even playing him to the level in which, like, would make sense and be justified. So, to me, in general, the whole situation is very odd. Look at the guys who are playing minutes over Jarred Vanderbilt right now. Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleba, Dalton Connect. And the thing that really kind of put this idea over the top for me was that Dalton Connect got minutes over Jarred Vanderbilt. Right? Maxi Kleba and Gabe Vincent. Gabe's been good. He's been good dating back to the preseason. He's a guy, point of attack hard, shooting the 3 ball well. Right? So he's a guy that, I understand. Maxi Kleba was odd. Now, you could argue when DeAndre Ayton, when he was out, that was, okay, made sense. Another big man, slot in at the 5, slot in at the 4. But, when we're missing wing depth and you go with Maxi Kleba over Jarred Vanderbilt, it's odd, right? And, I mean, JJ has had no problems in the past running small ball. He actually likes small ball, so it's odd that, didn't even go the small ball route, right? So, but then this game, you play Dalton Connect over Jarred Vanderbilt, really kind of makes me go, are they just doing this to highlight the guys that they're trying to trade? Right? Somebody's going to have to either be out of the rotation or have their minutes greatly cut, right? Because you're not going to run 12 guys a night, right? So it would make sense as we inch closer to December 17th, or sorry, December 15th is when the contracts come up, right? It's brings up the question of wouldn't you, if you're trying to make a trade for, Keon Ellis or something like that, wouldn't you want to highlight the guys that you're trying to trade, right? Even in the offseason, it was Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleba, Dalton Connect. Those are the 3 guys that you're looking to package to go get that guy, right? If you, for example, have Maxi Kleba fall out of the rotation, right, and Jarred Vanderbilt's in the rotation, teams are going to go, well, you don't even value him. Why would we? Right? Why are we trading for him? Right? We want Jarred Vanderbilt. Right? So then, if you're the Lakers, there is a logical reason to not play Jarred Vanderbilt, have him kind of be out of the rotation for now. Vando's the other thing too is we haven't heard anything from Vando. Now that could be him just kind of, playing team ball. That could just be him kind of being like, hey, it is what it is. But it could also be he knows, right? Like, JJ is very open. He's very honest. Like, I could see JJ going to Vando and being like, hey, we need to highlight Maxi Kleba. We need to highlight Gabe Vincent. We need to highlight Dalton Connect, right? Like, sorry, buddy, you're going to have to be on the rotation for a couple weeks, right? Or maybe get your spots here and there, but you're probably going to be on the rotation for a couple weeks because we need to get these guys right so that way we can go and trade for the pieces that we need, right? Like, that could be a real possibility, right? The other side of it could be, and I'm not going to lie, this is probably worth a video by itself too, but a lot of the Jarred Vanderbilt beginning to fall out of the rotation began around the time that the lack of three-point shooting started, right? It really but Vando played a little bit, but remember the OKC game, right? There was all the talks about Lakers and their lack of three-point shooting, but they are this really good, top team offensively in the 2-point range, in the mid-range. OKC's number 2, all that stuff, right? And since then, it has just been greatly highlighted more and more that, especially even after LeBron came back and all of that, it's been a real talking point. And it really kind of started to become a thing when LeBron got back. I mean, he even did videos about it. He even talked about how LeBron could be the piece that makes the Lakers better shooting from 3-ball because he's going to get a bunch of attempts. Did a whole video on, Dalton Connect or Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic needing to be better from 3-point range and all that stuff, right? Did several videos on the 3-point side of things. That started to happen around the time of the Utah game in which he got his first DMP. And we started to see more Maxi Kleba. We started seeing more Gabe Vincent. So is that just coincidence? Or is that, no, these two guys are playing because Jarred Vanderbilt is such a liability from 3-point range and we desperately need to uptick our 3-point shooting? There has to be a reason why Jarred Vanderbilt is not in the rotation at all. Right? And I don't buy that it's solely because he's a bad 3-point shooter or a bad scorer, right? Because Jarred Vanderbilt does so much for this team in so many facets. Yes, he's not 2023 Jarred Vanderbilt. He looked like it in preseason, but he hasn't really been that during the regular season. So I don't know if it's an injury or what, but Jarred Vanderbilt defensively, the hustle, the grit, the offensive rebounding, right? There's so many things that Jarred Vanderbilt provides, and he's exactly what this team needs. Defense out on the perimeter, all of that, right? But if you're really that concerned about his offense and you're that concerned about his shooting, why not get a look at a dude Thero and see if Thero can kind of uptick the offense and shooting, right? Because if he can be better shooting the basketball, then it would make sense that hey, we basically solved our biggest need. I even talked about it, right? Dude Thero getting run and getting minutes and getting opportunity could make trading guys like Jarred Vanderbilt, like a Gabe Vincent, like all these guys better or easier to digest. Right? And it could also potentially put you in the position of hey, we don't need this guy. We want this guy, right? If a dude Thero's playing to the level that you kind of need and are looking for, even if I would still want the veteran guy if I could, at least for right now. I would still, it gives you that negotiation point of hey, we don't need this guy. We want this guy. Or even that second tier guy. If a dude Thero can be that for you, maybe you don't have as big of a need for a Keon Ellis or, a Josh Green or a Baji or whomever, right? if a Thero can play to the level that you need him to, then you don't have as much pressure to go get that second tier guy. I'd still want that first tier guy, but you don't have as much pressure for the second tier guy. So, like, you can make a lot of the same arguments, though, for Jarred Vanderbilt. Now, you could argue we know what you get with Jarred Vanderbilt, right? But the guys that are getting minutes over Vando are the guys that are expected to be traded by the trade deadline. Gabe Vincent, Maxi, Dalton Connect. Those are 3 guys that have been expected to be a part of a trade since the deadline, or since the offseason. I mean, even the last year's deadline, right? Like, but it's the only thing that, like, outside of, because is it really just like Jarred Vanderbilt is so bad offensively? Yes, he's our worst offensive player, no doubt. But, like, again, he still does so much for this team that, like, you can't give him any, like, he's not even getting minutes. You're playing Dalton Connect over him, right? Well, if you're trying to hope Dalton Connect wakes up and raises his trade value, that would make sense. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you like this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. As we enjoy these types of videos, I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.